on, everybody? Thank you so much for coming back to another video this Christmas. Merry Christmas to all of you guys. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Wonder Woman 1984. So I talked about it in my review for Soul. I intended on seeing Wonder Woman at midnight. I thought that that's what was going to happen. I thought it was going to drop around the same time as Soul, which was 3 a.m. our time, but midnight on the West Coast. And I got really excited for that. And then when I woke up, I realized that it actually said it was actually going to be dropping on HBO Max at noon, 12 p.m. So thankfully, I still had my ticket to see Wonder Woman in theaters, Dolby, at AMC at 10:45 this morning. So I just got home from watching the movie. So I got to see it a little bit before it dropped on HBO Max. I hope everybody who's watching it on HBO Max is enjoying it. But I am so thrilled that I got to see this movie for the first time on the big screen in a Dolby theater. This movie, from the visuals to the action, the music, the special effects, everything about the way that this movie looks, feels, and is just action-packed, all really just, it suits itself for the theater. This is a movie made for the theater, and I understand 100% why Patty Jenkins was so strong about the fact that she really wanted this movie to be put in theaters, you know what I mean? And so I'm super happy that I saw it for my first time in theaters and in Dolby. And what I can say after saying all of that is I love the movie. When I did the review for the first Wonder Woman, you know, maybe almost 2 years ago at this point, it was like in the earlier part of my channel, and I was still reviewing movies in my car, which is super early part of my channel. I talked about how the first Wonder Woman movie for me is probably my favorite of the current line of DC films, the current continuity of DC films, the DCEU as people call it. And yeah, I think right after having watched this one, I can say that they're neck and neck, I would say. I loved this movie. I found it to be an epic follow-up to the first film. I think Patty Jenkins is showing herself to be one of the best modern blockbuster directors. I'm super excited to see what she does with the Star Wars film that she's going to be doing, Rogue Squadron. But yeah, from the second this movie started, from the opening credits to the final credits and to the mid-credits scene moment, that was absolutely epic. This movie was just jam-packed with so many great moments, so many great character moments. And at its core, it's just an epic superhero movie. This is a movie that I think completely 110% honors the first film. It really takes it to a new direction. It has a different tone, a different color palette, while also being able to maintain the same character and not really feeling like there's a complete shift in tone, but there's able to kind of have its own identity. I enjoyed the more colorful, vibrant color palette of this film. And again, Gald Gadot is just fantastic as this character. You also have people like Kristen Wiig in this film who, when she was first announced, I wasn't really thrilled. You know, I love the character of Cheetah. I was definitely looking forward to seeing what they would do with it, but I was kind of worried because, you know, Kristen Wiig, though she has done dramatic roles and she is a great actress, I think a lot of people just kind of think of her as a comedian, as a comedy actress. And man, has she just completely blown me out of the water with this one. I really thoroughly enjoyed her in this movie, and I really hope she does more roles like this. I will say that if you were worried about Kristen Wiig, I would say try to go in with, you know, pretty open expectations, because she did a pretty good job in this movie. I really thoroughly enjoyed her in this movie, and I really enjoyed seeing her acting chops in a different direction that we're really used to seeing her. The main villain of this film is played by Pedro Pascal, and I really enjoyed him in this movie. He's the one thing that I've heard is kind of like the main criticism people are having. He plays a very over-the-top, eccentric comic book villain. Just in his performance, he's a bit over-the-top and obnoxious at times, but that's what they were going for, and I really did enjoy it. I felt that his character had a good arc throughout the course of the film, and that's kind of one of my favorite things about the movie, is that it felt like every single character in this movie, or at least the main characters, including villains and side characters, I really did feel like majority of them all had a really good arc. I really enjoyed the journey for these characters and the things that they have to go through, the things they have to go through together. And on top of it having this great sense of stakes and these great arcs for the characters, it's a light, fun movie. I would say that it's, you know, not as serious as the first film, though the first one still had levity. I think that this one does a good job of being a little bit more light, but also being able to really stick the landing in the moments where the stakes and the more serious tones kind of have to flow through the script and kind of give us, you know, something to really grip onto. I found this movie to be a really great time. I was thoroughly invested from beginning to end. I was never bored. I found it to be incredibly well paced. The special effects are great. There are a couple moments of green screen where Wonder Woman is running that look a little bit cheesy, but it did not take me out of the movie. There are some epic action sequences in this film, and I think really beyond the spectacle, beyond the action, beyond the beautiful music and everything that got me emotional, even in scenes that aren't necessarily emotional, I think what really made this movie work so well were the characters, was the journey, was, you know, the the core of the story. I did really enjoy Diana Prince's adventure in this one. I enjoyed really seeing how she changed from the beginning of the film till here. And again, I think that the Wonder Woman movies are just my favorite of the current line of DCEU films. I think even in films that are like my least favorite in this current line of DCEU films, which, you know, like is Batman vs Superman for me, I think that she's still the highlight of that film, or at least one of the highlights. And yeah, you know, after seeing Wonder Woman and seeing this one, I don't know which one I prefer the most right now, but what I can say is I think that they're neck and neck. I really thoroughly enjoy that first one. I've seen it so many more times. I am going to be watching this one again tonight with my family on HBO Max, but I'm so thrilled that I got to see it in theaters for the first time. This is a beautifully put together film that really celebrates the character of Wonder Woman. I think if you're a fan of Wonder Woman and you were wondering in the first film why we didn't get some of the lore and mythology that's just kind of a staple of her character in that first film, you'll be pleasantly surprised to see certain things that they kind of bring into this movie that are just part of the Wonder Woman character that you see in comics and TV shows and movies and all that stuff, animated and all that today. So there are elements of Wonder Woman that you didn't see in the first one that are just parts of her character that you get to see in this one that I thoroughly enjoyed. I like the way they were introduced. There were some things about the story that some may say are convenient, but I think they handled it well and they made it to be a fun and cohesive story. Everything makes sense. I never felt like there was anything that really stood out to me as a really glaring negative. I found this to be a really epic movie. I found it to be a really good, fun time. And I was emotionally invested. I was emotionally invested in their journey. I was emotionally invested in their characters. The moments where Wonder Woman is sad and she has to really, you know, kind of make a decision for what she's going to do to be able to save people in this movie. You know, those moments really weigh heavy on the heart. I think that Patty Jenkins, again, is just proving herself to be an epic director of blockbusters that are able to have heart and charm and have endearing characters while also being able to have a high sense of stakes and also just be fun, light comic book movies. I think that she's doing a great job of, you know, being able to balance the action and the fun while also being able to, you know, lean into the more heavier tones that a movie like this needs to really give it the footing that it has. So I'm incredibly excited to see what she does with Star Wars, with Rogue Squadron. I think, again, Wonder Woman, the first one, is my favorite in the current line of DCEU films, but this one is neck and neck for me, and I'm definitely curious to hear what your guys' favorite is and what you guys thought of this movie. So if you've seen the movie, comment your thoughts. If you haven't seen the movie, that's fine too. But yeah, I also want to say I really enjoyed seeing Chris Pine in this movie once again. He comes back as Steve Trevor. I'm not going to get into any of the spoilers. That's in the trailer, so, you know, I'm not going to talk on anything beyond that, but I really enjoyed Chris Pine in this film. I really enjoyed the chemistry once again between him and Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot is just epic as this character. When she was first cast as her, I said it in my review for the first movie, I was kind of worried. I just kind of only seen her from the Fast and the Furious movies, and I wasn't really, you know, kind of sold on her as the character. But man, is she gorgeous. Man, is she an incredible actress. And she just does an incredible job of taking the character and honoring her, the character, right off the pages, right off the animated stuff, and pulling her right into this movie while also kind of bringing her own flavor to it that, you know, makes it kind of stand on its own. And I have to praise Gal Gadot for what she's done with this character, even in some of the lesser films in this whole franchise. But as far as her two films, Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 1984, I think this is an epic movie. I really had a great time with it. I think there's some things that are not going to work for everybody, but as a big comic book geek, as somebody who just loves to be able to sit back and be invested in a comic book movie, as I was watching it, I thought to myself, this is exactly why I come to the movie theaters. This is exactly why I love comic book movies. And this is exactly why I love the character of Wonder Woman. So that's going to be my thoughts on this movie. Can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Comment your thoughts, hit that like button. And that's going to be the end of my videos for today on Christmas. A big Merry Christmas to all of you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the day, whether you watched this on Christmas or after. I hope you enjoyed the day. Either way, thank you guys for watching. Comment your thoughts, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.